Hi guys, welcome back to the Visual Builder Cloud Service Training Program. So this video is part of lesson 3 and then module 1. Here we are going to look at how to create array data provider in VBCS and then how to create editable table in the VBCS. What is array data provider? The array data provider is allow us to create it allows us to update the data from a particular table. So if you require, let's suppose you have a table on your page, right? And if you wanted to modify the data of the table, then you cannot use a service data provider to further update the table. So for that, you have to use that array data provider and use that array data provider to upload the data into that table. Then you can use that table to further update it. So let's see how we can create a array data provider and how to create a table which you can use to update. So let me just log in into the VBCS and let me just achieve both the use cases. So here I am going to create a new app and here I'll say editable table and then simply create a finish. Now again I am going to create a business object and I'll say employee and then simply click on a create button. Click on an employee, create certain fields over here. I'm saying name, I'm saying age, I'm saying qualification, I'm saying email address. Okay, so I have created four fields: name, age, qualification, and then email address. Now go back to your data and try to load some data here. I will say 23, I'll say ankua at gmail.com, I'll say Ankur, and then I'll say mca, and then add row. Just try to add one more row here. I'll say 32, Amit at gmail.com, Amit, and then MBA, and then just add. So for the time being, I have just created two rows over here. Now just switch back to the, just collapse this and then try to create a web application. Here I am saying my editable app and then click on a create button. Okay. So here, what I am going to do first, I am going to populate a table over here. So this table I will associate with my business object. So I will choose my employee business object and then next, and from here I will select the name, qualification, email address, and then age, and then simply click on the next button, then finish. Okay, now your table has been uh, associated with my business object. If you go to this data, here you will see this table is associated with employee list SDP. If you go to the variables, here you will see the the variable called employee list SDP has been created and it is a type of SDP. Here you can see the type of this is service data provider. Now what I want, instead of using this employee list SDP, I want the array data provider on my table so that I can further update it. Click on a type. So first I will create a type. Okay, then from here just click on a type and then click from endpoint. Click on a business object and then I am going to use my get via ID, right? And then next, here I am saying get emp type and I am going to select age, email address, ID, where is the name? Okay, and then name and then qualification. So what I have done, I am creating a type from my endpoint and then I'm selecting this particular type, this variable, and then finish. So here you will see one type has been created from my endpoint, which is of object type. Go to the variables and then click variable, and I'll say employee data ADP, and then I'm selecting the type as array data provider, and then create. Okay, employee data ADP. So select it, and here you have to choose the array data provider legacy, and then from here you have to select from which type you wanted to use this ADP. So here I'm just selecting the type, the get emp type, and here I will select my key attribute as a ID. Okay, now I have created the variable of array data provider type. Now just copy this ID, save it, because I have created on this particular page. Now go back to the designer and then click here and just replace this employee list SDP with your employee data ADP, and then refresh your page. Refresh it. Okay. Now what should I do? I need to load the data into this EMP data ADP. So now the data has not been loaded. So for this, just create a action chain. Okay, and then action. Click on this action chain. Here I'll say fetch data, and then click on a create button. Okay, on this action chain, I am going to call our endpoint. Okay, which will fetch all the data, and then select endpoint and click on this business object, and then use this get. Select, and here you see it will fetch all the data. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the assign variable, and then here I will assign the response of this endpoint, right, which I have called body, and then under this employee, this is the ADP variable which I have created, and then item to data. Okay, and then save it. Now I have created a action chain. Now I want this action chain to be called on the page entrance. So for this, just click on an event and then click on an event listener. So here there's a one event called VB enter. So this will be dispatched after page score variable have been initialized, and then select. Here it will ask me which chain you wanted to call. I wanted to use fetch data, and then select. Okay, now once the page will be loaded, this VB enter event will be fired, and it will call this action chain. This action chain will call the endpoint, will get all the data, and will assign into my ADP. Okay, now just go to the designer and try to refresh it. Now here you see the data has been loaded. Okay, so this is via ADP data provider. Now what I want is I wanted to create a button over here, right, corresponding each and every row, which will allow me to save, update that report. For this, what I will do is just click on this data, and here use this edit column, and then use new empty column, and here you see a column has been created, and here you say action has been created over here. Then again expand your component palette, and then use a button, and here I will say button. I will change the caption. I'll say update. Now I kept this button here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this table as an editable. So select this, and here you have to use a edit mode property, and use this as a row edit. Okay, now your table will become editable. Just refresh it, and here what I have to do, as of now all these are the output tags, and it will not allow me to update it. So what I will do, I will replace my output tags with my input tags. I'll say change this to input text, and then same ways I'll just drop on the qualification as well. Okay, and then you can put an email address here. Okay, sorry, this is little wrong. No, here just input text and then in the qualification. I don't want to update user to update the age. Okay, refresh it. I only want user to update name, qualification, and an email address. Now just select this input text and make it, don't make it read only. Okay, same way as qualification, remove the read only and from the email address also. Now just try to preview your application and you will see that it will allow us to update that particular columns. Here you see you are able to update it. Here it will say please format is incorrect. It is because we have taken the email address. So now as of now nothing will happen on the update because we have to associate a event with this. Age you cannot update it. Now just go to the visual builder and go to the code section. So under the code here you see it says current.data and then current.email address. Okay. So I have to replace it with how. So I will just change this one and then and here I will say row and then name. So name is the identifier of my name. Same way just copy it and then here also replace and then here also. Now you have to check what is the identifier of my employee field, which is email address. Copy it from here and then change it here. Go here and then take the qualification as well. Okay. Qualification. Now go to the design. Okay. Here just refresh it and what I want is I wanted to update that particular record on an update button. So let the page to be loaded and I will add a event. Click on this update and here click on an event and then new event and then OJ action. Under that OJ action, I have a call rest endpoint activity. Just drop it over here and then select endpoint. So here I'm going to use my patch endpoint, which will allow me to update a record and it will take a employee ID along with the record. Just select it. Here, just you need to pass the employee ID and this employee ID will be in my key because key will hold the current ID. Okay, and then click on just drop it. Then save it. Now here you need to pass the body as well. Just click on this assign and here under that employee list ADP, just then drop to the body. Now here you see it is hard coded 0, but I need the selected one. So for this, just use this current. Okay, just drop this current also, and here just copy this, Control X, and then remove this plus as well, and then replace it, and then use dot in there. So what will happen? It will take the current row, right, and then will pass the data, and then save it. I want to give a successful message as well. So here there's a activity called fire notification. Use this fire notification over here. And then here you can put a summary. I'm saying the record updated successfully. Okay. Now here you can change the display mode, you can change the transient, and then you can change the notification type as in. That's it. Now my configuration is completed. Go and run your application and see how it should behave now. Okay, now let's just try to update the name Ansh, and then I'll say he has done like com, and I can change the email address as well, Ansh, and then just select update. Here you see you have received information record updated successfully. Now just go back to the Visual Builder and then refresh. Here you see the information has been updated successfully. So this is how you can create a updatable table in the Visual Builder. So guys, thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.